Hey everybody, I'm Alan Snell with LVSportsBiz.com. I'm here with Cassandra Cousineau, who covers MMA and UFC for LVSportsBiz.com. And finally, we have a John Jones fight in Las Vegas. There was kind of a soap opera at the end of December, about 2.5 months ago, when his fight here in Las Vegas got switched to the Forum in Los Angeles because of drug testing problems and licensing issues with the Athletic Commission. So set the stage for tonight's fight. He has a challenger. He is the defending champion. What is John Jones up to now, being in Las Vegas it's been a while.
It's been a while, but he's an enormous favorite tonight against Anthony Smith, who's got a great story. He's always been an underdog, kid from Nebraska, not supposed to be here, fighting perhaps one of the best who has ever done it in UFC and certainly in MMA as well. And so I expect John Jones to win tonight. It may not be as easy as we've seen it in his previous fight, but he's here. He's happy to be in Las Vegas. I talked to him earlier this week, and he was very conscious of the fact that fans have come out to support him again. To use his words, he said, I want them to be happy to wear my jersey again.
So you published a story just last night based on your interview with John Jones, and you had an interesting question for him. You actually asked whether he was aware of the impact of the financial loss to the workers here in Las Vegas because of the fight event being switched from right here, T-Mobile Arena, to the Forum. Talk a little about how he responded to your question, and I think the body language was also very interesting as well.
Yeah, John Jones is a really interesting cat. He's very thoughtful, he's incredibly bright, and he thinks things through. And so, given his past outside of the cage, you always wonder kind of how he processes this. So I asked him, what did he think about not just being at the top of the card, but essentially being at the top of the food chain when it comes to economics. And he said, I'm aware of the fact that people lost because I wasn't here. They lost because the card was moved to California. He did say that it was good that the fight went on, even though he couldn't be in Las Vegas, but he mentioned the fact that he knew that there were food truck operators and that there were parking attendants who are also part of the economy when a UFC fight is brought to a city, specifically Las Vegas.
Now this fight is really interesting from an economic standpoint. The Habib-Conor McGregor fight really hit the jackpot in terms of economic impact. UFC hired a company called Applied Analysis right here in Las Vegas to do the economic impact. 20,000 plus attendance, huge gate. A lot of jobs affected. But this fight's kind of interesting. I think the Habib-McGregor fight matched two fighters with huge international bases. This fight with Jones, Smith at the top of the card, we probably won't see all the international travel, and I assume that the impact will be smaller than the fight event with Habib and Conor McGregor.
This is going to be a domestically driven fight. You can look around, and the difference is you don't see all the flags. As opposed to last time. We also had Amanda Nunes and Chris Cyborg at the top of that card as well.
Which is Brazil.
The previous card in December, which would have a huge Brazilian contingency. So this is going to be a very much so domestically driven crowd. I noticed actually when I was coming in a little bit more traffic coming to the arena, which you don't necessarily see a lot of here in Las Vegas at T-Mobile when there's a UFC fight, because there's so many hotels around that people are actually just walking over or Ubering over to. And so I'm really interested to see those numbers. I think it was 232 was $84 million in terms of economic impact.
Yeah, that's a pretty high figure for one individual UFC fight event.
But John Jones is back, and he significantly moves the needle for combat sports, not just UFC. He's a superstar. He's a superstar not just for this promotion, but for the fight game in general.
Cassandra, do you have your eye on any other fights tonight? I think Lawler is on the card. He's an interesting character.
Yeah, Robbie Lawler's been around for a long time, but he's fighting Ben Askren, and Ben is new to UFC, not new to MMA. He was also a college teammate of Tyron Woodley. They've been kind of having this cop buddy thing going on throughout the week, and it's been fun for the media to get to see that part of the promotion. Askren brings a ton of levity, a little bit of controversy, but he's got his hands full with Robbie Lawler, who is a very much so experienced fighter, very smart fighter. Not much that he hasn't seen, but he's beatable. But Askren, this is the most highest profile fight that he's had to date. So that's the one that I'm keeping my eye out for. Tisha Torres is actually on the card, on the main card. Her first time actually on a main card. Love to see the female fighters being promoted.
Well, I've been talking with Cassandra Cousineau, the MMA reporter for LVSportsBiz.com, and I'm sure as soon as you get the numbers in terms of the attendance tonight, along with the gate, we'll have a story on the news site, so please look for that. In fact, hopefully this will be in the story that you'll be filing. So have a great night tonight, Cassandra.
Thanks, Alan.
Okay.